I've had the Topwater for over a year, covered a lot of water, and caught a lot of fish from it. Hands down, it's been a great fishing platform. With hundreds and hundreds of miles in this kayak, here are my thoughts on durability. The hull is nice and thick, so no issues there. The seat does have some small tearing at seams on the seat bottom, but it's been functioning fine. I've heard this was an issue with the earlier models, and I should probably call Old Town, but it's been this way for a long time and it doesn't appear to be getting any worse. For the most part, the drive has been bulletproof, except for a small issue that was a 5-minute fix. Unfortunately, it took me quite a few months to get it fully resolved, but that's a separate story in itself. Anyways, it's a quick fix if it ever occurs again. The steering cable broke during a tournament. I was able to fix it with some stainless wire from the hardware store, and Old Town sent me out a replacement cable for no charge. Any boat's going to have a few issues, but with the Topwater, there's been nothing major, so overall, it's been very durable. What do I like about the PDL? The drive. First off, it's pretty quiet and it's very smooth. Next, I love being able to hold position in wind or make headway while fishing and having your hands free to fish. Also, being able to reverse instantly is a huge bonus. It makes it easy to quickly pull fish away from cover. And because the steering is so good, I almost never use the paddle, including fishing around docks and other restricted areas. Only time I break out the paddle is if I'm going into really skinny water or paddling over grass mats. And lastly, it has a lot of torque, so I've been able to push headlong into heavy wind and waves and still make decent headway. Regarding speed, I can do a short burst up to 5 miles an hour, but for trying to cover long runs, I probably average a little over 3.5 miles per hour. The transducer mounting area has been great. I have a side imaging unit and I get unobstructed returns. Also, the transducer stays protected in its location, tucked up underneath the front of the bow. It's easy to stand and fish from, lean over the side. It handles heavy wind and waves. I've even hauled a 37-pound catfish up and stood on one side to get a picture and weigh it. There's not a huge hatch, but you can get quite a few items in there, including some rods. The tank well is really large. I like the storage pockets on the sides, and there's plenty of room under the seat to store things. Absolutely love the storage compartment that's part of the drive unit itself. It's easily accessible and it stays dry for me. The seat is easy to install and remove, and simple to adjust on the water. It's also fairly comfortable, although I did have to add some lumbar support and padding on the rear seat bars. Okay, so what are the things I don't like? There's not many, and to be fair, most are just annoyances or trade-offs, such as stability for speed. But number one, I can't fit a 2-piece paddle inside the hatch. Since I rarely actually use a paddle, it'd be nice just to leave it in there for an emergency, or when I know I need it for skinny water. No big deal, and I could probably get a 4-piece paddle. Number two, wish the seat came with more lumbar support and that the lower bar didn't hit your tailbone. Not the end of the world, and I added some padding to accommodate for this. Number three, pedaling into heavy wind and waves. You often get a lot of water that breaks up over the bow, so you get a pretty good splashing at times. Sometimes it can be fun, I suppose, but a lot of times it's just an annoyance. Number four, it has adequate speed, just wish it were a little faster. It's a trade-off for its amazing stability and its shorter length. Definitely don't consider it slow though, as you still make decent speed and you can pedal it all day long. Number five, and this actually isn't even on my list, but there's some people that have an issue with it. So when you stand up, the floor of the cockpit gets quite a bit of water on it, and at times when you're pedaling, you'll get some water as well. So this bothered me for about 2 days, and now I don't even think about it. I just don't put anything I don't want to get wet on the deck of the kayak. Also, in the summer, it's actually kind of nice to get a little bit of water in there to cool your feet down. Plus, the water drains out very quickly. Number six, and this is the only thing that really does bother me, and it's the hole slap you get when standing. It doesn't take much wind to cause this, and it's especially bad when wind is coming from the rear. It's not always an issue, but I think it can spook the fish at times. My only solution is to sit back down to fish. So, what are some of the modifications and extra rigging I've done to the Topwater? A taller seat. I put a jump seat I bought from a sporting goods store on top of the Topwater seat. No modifications are made, and I can take it on and off as I want. I can even take it off when I'm on the water and fold it up and set it back in the tank well. But I actually use it now all the time, even in heavy winds, although I won't lean off to the side as much in heavy winds. Not because I'm worried about flipping the boat, but it's probably easier for me to fall off. The seat sits me up high for sight fishing, and it makes it really easy to stand and sit without using a hand for help. The steering control works fine most of the time, but I found it hard to gain enough leverage during really windy conditions. The additional piece I added to the control arm offers much more leverage, and I finally just attached it permanently. It still retains the ability to tighten the tension knob, and I made a video on how to make this, and I'll leave a link down below. I made 2 shelves under the seat from some material that's kind of like a really heavy-duty mosquito netting. I can put Plano boxes under there, bags of soft plastic, whatever I want to keep close at hand. I added a forward-facing rod holder just like you find on the Topwater PDL 120. This has been a great addition. It really helps to manage your rod when you're landing a fish, if you're standing and fishing, or when you're rigging tackle. And by the way, I really love how inexpensive most Old Town parts are. I replaced the PDL pedals with a pair I bought online for $20. This has been a nice upgrade. They're much smoother than the stock pedals, and they come with little studs that keep your shoes gripped in place. I removed the studs from one side so I can also use them when barefoot. I'll leave links for these and other items in the description section down below. Not really rigging, but I have a small plastic container that I slide under the seat. This can hold plastics, things I'm currently fishing with, just kind of a little junk drawer. I also installed a couple pieces of foam on the top of the drive unit itself. This works great for holding lures, easy to access weights and hooks, and holding a small nail polish bottle of scent. I bought some empty nail polish bottles online, and I filled them up with JJ's Magic, Smelly Jelly, whatever scent I want to use. And the bottle has an applicator brush, so that makes it nice to just brush the scent onto your lure. You don't have to worry about spilling the bottle and getting it everywhere. I attached a plastic clip to the hog trough and hook it on the right-hand storage pocket. Keeps it handy and it doesn't slide around. Also, added a piece of bungee to keep it locked in place when trailering the boat. When measuring fish, I like to set the left-hand side on top of the left-hand storage pocket, and the other end extends over the rail. It's stable, and it keeps the fish's mouth closed. One other addition is I attached my tournament tag so it's adjustable to accommodate larger fish, but it won't slip off and get lost. Installed an anchor wizard by removing one of the side hand grips and attached the anchor wizard with a few screws. It's convenient and I can still paddle. Also used some higher quality rollers that were part of a sliding glass repair kit I found at a big box hardware store. It makes retrieving the anchor effortless, but sometimes the paracord does slip off the pulleys, so I need to do something to fix that. I cut down a plastic ammo box and inserted it into the rear hatch opening. In order to keep it in place yet easily removable, I attached 2 screws inside the hatch opening and drilled holes inside the sides of the storage box. Now I can just slide it down, it pops in place, keeps it secure. Built a manual anchor pole that is attached with 2 thick diameter screws driven directly into the hole. These have held it securely in place, and it can also be easily removed. A cleat allows for easy deployment and to keep the pole in the up position. The 8-foot fiberglass pole can easily be installed or removed for trailering. I like the idea of the built-in horizontal rod storage on the Topwater, and it's come in handy at times, especially on Lake Fork where there are a lot of low clearance bridges. But I don't like fishing with the rod tips extended out past the bow, and I get concerned about snapping off a tip. So I built this horizontal rod holder. It keeps the rod secure and the tips protected. It's made out of PVC tubing and a small sheet of HDPE plastic. So the materials are inexpensive and it's easy to make. The Topwater PDL 106 has been an outstanding pedal kayak. Is it perfect? No, but any kayak is going to have its trade-offs. Was it worth the money? Absolutely. It's stable, has decent speed, has held up well, and most importantly, I still enjoy fishing from it. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're a subscriber to the channel, be sure to turn on the notifications bell to be alerted when new videos come out, like the one coming out on the anchor pole. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a great day and an even better time on the water.